Canto 1, Chapter 5, Text 20. Idam hi Vishwam Bhagavan Ivetaro.
Idam hi Vishwam Bhagavan Ivetaro.
Yato Jagat Sthana Nirodha Sambhava.
Yato Jagat Sthana Nirodha Sambhava.
Tatti Swayam Veda Bhavanstatapite.
Tatti Swayam Veda Bhavanstatapite.
Pradeshamatram Bhavata Pradeshitam.
Pradeshamatram Bhavataha Pradarsitam.
Idam hi Vishwam Bhagavan Ivetaro.
Idam hi Vishwam Bhagavan Ivetaro.
Yato Jagat Sthana Nirodha Sambhava.
Yato Jagat Sthana Nirodha Sambhava.
Tatti Swayam Veda Bhavam Tathapite.
Tatti Swayam Veda Bhavanstatapite.
Pradeshamatram Bhavata Pradarshitam.
Pradeshamatram Bhavataha Pradarsitam.
Idam hi Vishwam Bhagavan Ivetaro.
Idam hi Vishwam Bhagavan Ivetaro.
Yato Jagat Sthana Nirodha Sambhava.
Yato Jagat Sthana Nirodha Sambhava.
Tatti Swayam Veda Bhavam Tathapite.
Tatti Swayam Veda Bhavanstatapite.
Pradeshamatram Bhavata Pradarshitam.
Pradeshamatram Bhavataha Pradarsitam. Idam hi Vishwam Bhagavan Ivetaro.
Idam hi Vishwam Bhagavan Ivetaro.
Yato Jagat Sthana Nirodha Sambhava.
Yato Jagat Sthana Nirodha Sambhava.
Tatti Swayam Veda Bhavanstatapite.
Taddi Swayam Veda Bhavam Tathapite.
Pradeshamatram Bhavataha Pradarsitam.
Pradeshamatram Bhavata Pradarshitam.
Idam hi Vishwam Bhagavan Ivataro.
Idam hi Vishwam Bhagavan Ivetaro.
Yato Jagat Sthana Nirodha Sambhava.
Yato Jagat Sthana Nirodha Sambhava.
Tatti Swayam Veda Bhavam Tapite.
Taddi Swayam Veda Bhavam Tathapite. Pradeshamatram Bhavata Pradarshitam. Translation. Idam, this, he, all, Vishwam, cosmos, Bhagavan, the Supreme Lord, Eva, almost the same, Itara, different from, Yata, from whom, Jagat, the worlds, Sthana, exist, Nirodha, annihilation, Sambhava, creation, Tat He, all about, Swayam, personally, Veda, no, Bhavan, your good self, Tatha Api, still, Te, unto you, Pradeshamatram, a synopsis only, Bhavata, unto you, Pradarsitam, explained. Translation. The Supreme Lord, personality of Godhead, is himself this cosmos, and still he is aloof from it. From him only has this cosmic manifestation emanated. In him it rests, and unto him it enters after annihilation. Your good self knows all about this. I have given only a synopsis.
Wow.
Purport by His Divine Grace, Abhay Charanarvinda Bhakti Vedanta Swami Srila Prabhupada ki. For a pure devotee, the conception of Mukunda, Lord Sri Krishna, is both personal and impersonal. The impersonal cosmic situation is also Mukunda because it is the emanation of the energy of Mukunda. For example, a tree is a complete unit, whereas the leaves and the branches of the tree are emanated parts and parcels of the tree. The leaves and branches of the tree are also the tree, but the tree itself is neither the leaves nor the branches. The Vedic version that the whole cosmic creation is nothing but Brahman means that since everything is emanating from the Supreme Brahman, nothing is apart from him. Similarly, the part and parcel, hands and legs, are called the body, but the body as the whole unit is neither the hands nor the legs. The Lord is the transcendental form of eternity, cognition, and beauty. And thus the creation of the energy of the Lord appears to be partially eternal, full of knowledge and beautiful also. The captivated conditioned souls under the influence of the external energy of Maya are therefore entrapped in the network of the material nature. They accept this as all in all, for they have no information of the Lord who is the primeval cause. Nor have they information that the parts and parcels of the body, being detached from the whole body, are no longer the same hand or leg as when attached to the body. Similarly, a godless civilization detached from the transcendental loving service of the Supreme Personality of the Godhead is just like a detached hand or leg. Such parts and parcels may appear like hands and legs, but they have no efficiency. The devotee of the Lord, Srila Vyasadeva, knows this very well. He is further advised by Srila Narada to expand the idea so that the entrapped, conditioned souls may take lessons from him to understand the Supreme Lord as the primeval cause. According to the Vedic version, the Lord is naturally fully powerful, and thus the supreme energies are always perfect and identical with him. Both the spiritual and the material skies and their paraphernalia are emanations of the internal and external energies of the Lord. External energy is comparatively inferior, whereas the internal potency is superior. The superior energy is living force, and therefore she is completely identical. But the external energy, being inert, is partially identical. but both the energies are neither equal to nor greater than the Lord, who is the generator of all energies. Such energies are always under its control, exactly as electrical energy, however powerful it may be, is always under the control of the engineer. The human being and all other living beings are products of his internal energies. Thus, the living being is also identical with the Lord, but he is never equal or superior to the personality of Godhead. The Lord and living beings are all individual persons with the help of the material energies. The living beings are also creating something, but none of their creations are equal or superior to the creations of the Lord. The human being may create a small, playful Sputnik and may throw it into outer space, but that does not mean that he can create a planet like the Earth or Moon and float it in the air as the Lord does. Men with a poor fund of knowledge may claim to be equal to the Lord. They are never equal to the Lord. This is never to be. The human being, after attaining complete perfection, may achieve a large percentage of the qualities of the Lord, say up to 70-80%, but it is never possible to surpass the Lord or to become equal with him. In a diseased condition, only the foolish being claims to be one with the Lord and thus becomes misled by the illusory energy. The misguided living beings, therefore, must accept the supremacy of the Lord and agree to render loving service to him. For this they have been created. Without this, there cannot be any peace or tranquility in the world. Srila Vyasadeva is advised by Srila Narada to expand this idea in the Bhagavatam. In the Bhagavad Gita also, the same idea is explained. Surrender fully unto the lotus feet of the Lord. That is the only business of the perfect human being.
तस्मै श्री गुरवे नमः। श्री चैतन्य मनोभीष्टं स्थापितं येन भूतले स्वयं रूपा कदा मह्यं ददाति स्वपदान्तिकं मां श्रीगुरु श्रीयुतापदकमलं श्रीगुरून् वैष्णवांश्च श्रीरूपं सागरजाता सहगणा रघुनाथान्वितं तं सजीवं साद्वैतं सावधूतं परिजनसहितं कृष्णचैतन्यदेवं श्रीराधा कृष्णपादान् सहगणा ललिता श्रीविशाखान्वितांश्च। हे कृष्णा करुणा सिंधु दीनबंधो जगत्पते गोपेशा गोपिका कांता राधा कांता नमोस्तुते। तप्त कांचना गौरंगी राधे वृंदावनेश्वरी वृषभानुसुते देवी प्रणमामि हरिप्रिये। वाञ्छाकल्पतरुभ्यश्च कृपा सिन्धुभ्य एव च पतितानां पावनेभ्यो वैष्णवेभ्यो नमो नमः। नमो विष्णुपदाय कृष्णप्रस्थाय भूतले Shrimate Bhaktivedanta Swami Niti Namine Namaste Saraswati Devi Gauravani Pracharine Nirvishesha Shunyavadi Paschatya Desatarine Jai Shri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advaita Gadadhar Shivasadi Gaura Bhakta Vrinda Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare Hare. Hare Krishna. I welcome you all to the Bhagavatam class at Sri Devasati Mandir, the eternal home of Srila Prabhupada and Sri Radha Kunja Bihari. Srila Prabhupada, while he was manifest on this planet, he established more than 100 temples and farm communities throughout the world. And the reason is to give everybody a chance to associate with devotees. Srila Prabhupada describes in the purports to Shrimadbhagavatam verses that without the association of devotees, this process of bhakti, devotional service, can neither be complete nor can it be relished. So we must make a sincere endeavor to associate with devotees whenever the opportunity presents itself. The association of devotees is not something that is nice to do. It is an absolutely essential, crucial component of the bhakti process. Without sufficient and regular association of devotees, Srila Prabhupada explains that devotional service cannot be relished and it can never be complete. Therefore, I thank all of you for being here today and for coming to the temple very regularly to associate with devotees and serve in the association of Vaishnavas. Our process is very simple: chanting the holy names, reading Shrimadbhagavatam, honoring prasadam. So these things can be done in isolation. If we only require these things, then there would be no need to set up such big temples throughout the world. But Srila Prabhupada and his disciples after him, and so many other bona fide Vaishnavas and Acharyas throughout the whole world, they have set up such temples. They have expended so much effort and energy to set up and build such temples. Why? Because even though our process is very simple, if we wish to relish the process, if we wish to complete it in this lifetime, this simple process of bhakti must be performed in the association of devotees. That is the only reason all these temples have been set up all over the world. So we must take this seriously. We must practice our sadhana seriously. But we must serve the Lord in the association of devotees. We must constantly seek, to the extent possible, the association of Vaishnavas. We have seen in pictures, and we have also visited, some of us in person, in the old days, forts were surrounded by tall walls. It was to keep the enemies out so that they could not attack those living in the fort. So the Vaishnavas are like that wall that surround us and protect us from the attacks of Maya, the illusory energy of the Lord. So when we constantly surround ourselves with the Vaishnavas, they protect us from Maya, they protect us from fall downs. But when we live aloof, without the association of Vaishnavas, then we are completely exposed to the attacks of Maya. And what are we? We are just insignificant, little living entities. What is our chance against Maya? So if anybody thinks I will practice this on my own, and I do not need the association of Vaishnavas, Srila Prabhupada calls this a great hallucination. To think in such a way, it's a great hallucination. We cannot possibly practice bhakti on our own. Even the great Mahabhagavats, they constantly seek the association of Vaishnavas. Shrimadbhagavatam was spoken by Srila Sukadeva Goswami to the great king and pure devotee Mahabhagavat Parikshit Maharaj over a period of 7 days and 7 nights. As Sukadeva Goswami brought his narration of Srimad Bhagavatam to a close, Parikshit Maharaj only asked for 3 benedictions. He asked that he may have unlimited attraction to the personality of Godhead, Sri Krishna. That he may feel compassion toward all living beings, how many ever births he had to take. And he asked that how many ever lifetimes he had to be in this material world, that he may be always in the association of devotees. Now Parikshit Maharaj, one of his names is Vishnu Rata, meaning one who is eternally under the protection of Lord Vishnu, the personality of Godhead. So he was a pure devotee, he had already achieved the perfection of life. Yet what was he praying for? That he may always be in the association of devotees. So this is something we see in the life of all Mahabhagavats. Even though they have achieved the highest perfection, they constantly seek the association of Vaishnavas. Because if one wants to truly relish the ecstasy of loving service to Krishna, one must do it in the association of devotees. Only then can one truly taste and relish the taste of such ecstatic, loving service. So we are fortunate that we are part of a society of devotees who come together on a very regular basis. We celebrate our Sunday programs. It's like a festival every Sunday. We celebrate through so many festivals throughout the year. Just yesterday, we celebrated Srila Gopal Krishna Maharaj's Tirobhav festival. It is so joyful coming together in the association of devotees, chanting the holy names, honoring prasadam. All these angas of bhakti, when performed in association of devotees, becomes very relishable. And then we begin to develop a taste. Vishaya vinivartante niraharasya dehina rasovarjan rasopyasya param drishtva nivartate. When we begin to develop this taste for service in the association of Vaishnavas, then the taste for everything that is undesirable automatically is vanquished. In the conditioned state of life, we have an attraction to so many different things, many of which are an impediment to progress on the path of bhakti. So how do we give up that taste? Simply by developing a taste for something higher. So when we begin to develop a taste for service to the Lord, then the taste for lower things is automatically given up. So we must regularly perform our seva and association of devotees, develop a higher taste, and in this way we can make a rapid progress on this path. When I was reading this purport just a few minutes ago, at the end I was just thinking, this is such a wonderful purport that Srila Prabhupada has given to this verse. And it feels like in this one purport he has captured the essence of all knowledge. Shrimadbhagavatam purports written by Srila Prabhupada like that. You could read any verse and any purport and feel all the knowledge we need is contained in that. So Shri Radha Kunja Bihari ki jai. In this particular verse, Srila Prabhupada has written at length about impersonalism. There are many different schools of thought. There is the Mayavad school of thought, which believes that everything is Maya. Everything is an illusion. And then there is the impersonal school of thought, where the people believe that the Jiva and God are one. And that the goal of life is to become one with God and therefore become God. There is the Vaishnava school of thought, where we are taught to believe and accept our eternal position as servants of the servants of Krishna. Gopi Bhartu Padakavalayo Das Das Das. One time Srila Prabhupada was asked who he was, and His Divine Grace replied, I am a servant of Krishna. And then he paused momentarily and he said, no, I am not a servant of Krishna. A servant of Krishna is no ordinary thing. I am the servant of the servants of the servants of Krishna. Gopi Bhartu Padakavalayo Das Das Sadhu Das. So there are so many different schools of thought. Now which one are we to accept? In Shrimadbhagavatam and Bhagavad Gita, it is described elaborately the original nature and position of the soul. During the time of Srila Bhaktisiddhanta Saraswati Thakur, impersonalism and Mayavad, they were such a danger to society because more and more people were beginning to accept those philosophies as the truth. So Saraswati Thakur said, I spent years cutting down the jungles of Mayavad. So Srila Prabhupada very kindly in his purpose, he exposes the dangers of impersonalism. His Divine Grace has given such beautiful, such wonderful examples in this very verse. That of a hand or a leg. The hand or a leg only have value so long as they are attached to the body. But soon as they are separate from the body,
they lose their value, they become practically useless. In the calendar today, in the Pujari room, every day there is a quote from Srila Prabhupada's lectures or from his letters to his disciples. There's different quotes that throw a lot of light on our philosophy. In today's quote, I read Srila Prabhupada is explaining about the hills of Tirupati. Has anybody here been to Tirupati? You have, Prabhu, Rohit. And Dave and Krishna, you have not been there. But Tirupati is a very holy place in South India. It's a series of hills. I think it's about 7 hills. 7 hills. So Srila Prabhupada says, if you look at the hill from a distance, this big gigantic hill, it appears like one object. Yes, if you're looking at it from several miles away, it appears as just a single object. But as you approach that object closer and closer, you begin to realize it's not just one object. There's many things in that hill. As you approach closer, you see there are many trees. There may be homes. There are different kinds of life forms, animals, humans, birds. So actually from a distance, what appears to be just one object is actually a collection of many different things. Yes? Trees, living creatures, homes, people. Likewise, so one who lacks the knowledge may just claim that the hill is one. He does not see the distinctions that exist within the hill. But one who is actually in knowledge can tell everything's not one. The hill has so much variegatedness, varieties in it. So in this philosophy of impersonalism, considering everything to be one with the Lord and no variegatedness, no variety, indicates a poor fund of knowledge. One who's actually in knowledge can understand that though everything is in Krishna, everything is a part and parcel of Krishna, there is so much variety in it. And that everyone in this whole retains his individuality. So the jiva, as Prabhupada has very nicely explained, and the Lord cannot be one. It is a foolish conception to consider that the living entity is one with the Lord. Lord Chaitanya established this philosophy of Bheda Bheda Tattva. That is the reality. Simultaneous oneness and difference from the Lord. We are simultaneously one and different, just as sun and sunlight. As soon as we see sunlight in our room, we may not have seen the sun yet. Yet what do we say? The sun is up in the sky, the sun has risen. Yes? Because without the sun, there is no sunlight. And yet, we cannot claim that the sunlight is the sun. There is a difference. So simultaneously one and different. So the living entity is in the same position. We are simultaneously one and different from Krishna. That is Achintya Veda Veda Tattva. So when we read these scriptures, when we hear from the Acharyas, we understand these eternal truths as they are. In a diseased condition, only the foolish being claims to be one with the Lord and thus becomes misled by the illusory energy. The misguided living beings therefore must accept the supremacy of the Lord and agree to render loving service to Him. For this they have been created.
for the Vaishnava, for a devotee of the Lord, this very suggestion that one can become one with the Lord is worse than going to hell. It is said for the Vaishnava to become one with the Lord is worse than going to hell. Why? Because the devotee only aspires for one thing, to engage in loving service to the Lord and give the Lord pleasure through such service. If one becomes one with the Lord, there is a question of serving. In a relationship, there must be two people. If there is only one, there is no question of relationship. So those that perform their sadhana with a view to becoming one with the Lord, they enter, when they perfect such sadhana, they enter into the Brahman effulgence of the Lord, when they live for a very, very long time. But because the soul is hankering actually for service, they cannot remain there for very long. They may remain there for a very long period of time, but eventually they must fall down back into this material world. Because the soul is always hankering for activity, hankering for relationship, hankering for service. And when we engage our time, our energies in rendering loving service to the Lord, then all our cravings are fulfilled. We have that in our own experience. Yes, some of you here, actually all of you here I see, you're always serving here at the temple. What is making you come back again and again to do the same thing? In this material world, everybody is looking for variety. Yes? If I were to give you gulab jamun every day, after a few days you will get tired of gulab jamuns. Yes? And people go on vacations to exotic places, some islands or beach resort towns and places like that. But why is it they don't live there permanently? Because after a few days or a few weeks, they get tired of it, they get bored of it, they want to go someplace else. Yes? That is our human nature. We want to do something different all the time. But I see, especially the three of you, you've been coming here for a long time. And I see you doing the same thing day after day after day. And yet you're not tired of it. Have you ever thought about that? Dave Prabhu has been washing pots for I don't know how long, years and years. I don't see him doing anything different. It's a very difficult service, but he's always doing that, day after day. And why is it that he's not tired of it? How is it he's not looking for some variety? Because service to Krishna fulfills all the longings and cravings of the heart. When we please Krishna, Srila Prabhupada gives this wonderful example. When we water the root of a tree, the entire tree is satisfied. There is no need to separately water the leaves or the branches or the little twigs all over the tree. We simply water the root. And by that simple action, this gigantic tree, the entire tree is satisfied. Likewise, when we offer service to Krishna, then we automatically become pleased. Why? Because when Krishna is pleased, we are parts and parcels of Krishna. In this very verse, Srila Prabhupada explains how there are so many trees, branches and leaves. There may be hundreds and hundreds of leaves, possibly thousands. Because they are part of the tree, when the tree is satisfied, all the parts and parcels are automatically satisfied. Likewise, when we please Krishna, we become pleased. Why? Because we are part and parcel of Krishna. So that is why when we engage in service, it brings so much fulfillment to all our cravings, our longings. We are not looking for something new. We are not looking for variety. We are happy doing the same thing. It may be pot washing. Dave has been washing pots for many years and he's completely happy. Why? Because he's doing it for Krishna. So when we engage in Krishna's service with a view to pleasing the Lord, then we ourselves become pleased. In the spiritual world, that is the principle. Everyone is working simply to make Krishna happy. Nobody is working for his or her own pleasure. They are only concerned about one thing. How can I please Krishna? And it's a great paradox. And what is this paradox? Nobody in the spiritual world is thinking about his or her own pleasure. They don't even care about their own pleasure. They only care about one thing, to please Krishna. But in pleasing Krishna, they derive the greatest pleasure. So they get something that they are not even aspiring for. They get something that they don't even want. And this is the great paradox. In the material world, people work so hard to experience pleasure. And for every little bit of pleasure that they experience, they must experience so much misery. Sometimes I would go on these trips with my family, and wherever we are going, we have some fun there. But to get there, it takes several hours of travel. Sometimes we will drive, driving for so many hours, sometimes late in the night, and then driving back, and then carrying all the clothes and food and everything. And then when you come back, you have to wash all these clothes. You have to wash all the utensils. To experience a little bit of pleasure, you have to work so much more. You have to experience so much misery to experience a little bit of pleasure. Yes? So seeking pleasure, and what are we getting in return? More misery than pleasure. Yes? I have seen, sometimes when I'm traveling to India and other places, so many people they are going on vacations. And we have to stand in all these long lines in security. We have to take off our shoes when we go through security at the airports. And then waiting in line to board the plane. And then several hours in that cramped space in the plane. Can't even move about for so many hours. And then finally we get where we are going. So it is so much trouble to experience a little bit of pleasure. We have to be willing to suffer so much. So if we are intelligent and we consider it in a rational way, we are actually suffering more than enjoying. For that little bit of enjoyment, we have to suffer so much. So we are seeking pleasure but getting misery in return. But in the spiritual world, nobody is seeking pleasure. They are only interested in pleasing Krishna. They are only interested in working for Krishna's pleasure. But what are they getting in return? The greatest ecstasy. So they get something that they are not even looking for. And that's the paradox. So by engaging in Krishna's service, loving service, with a view to just pleasing Krishna, when we have Krishna in the center of our lives, ecstasy follows, whether we want it or not. The soul is just craving for that love. Lifetime after lifetime, the living entity we call the soul has been transmigrating from one body to another body to another, just in search of that love. But we don't know it. But somehow or other, because of our great fortune, when we come in contact with some compassionate Vaishnava, then him or her, by their
by their compassion, they bring us to this reality. Now what we are actually seeking is to love Krishna and experience Krishna's love for us. And when we experience that love, we don't want anything else, because our heart is fully satisfied. Therefore Krishna tells Arjuna in the Bhagavad Gita, Mattha parataram nanyat kinchidashti dhananjaya mai sarvam idam protam sutre maniganaiva. O Arjuna, Dhananjaya, winner of wealth, that there is no truth superior to me. Everything rests upon me as pearls are strung on a thread. So when we come in the presence of that supreme truth, who is standing here very mercifully in the form of Kunja Bihari with his eternal consort, Srimati Radharani, and we engage in the service of that supreme eternal truth in the association of devotees, all our desires are fulfilled and we find lasting joy and happiness. So let us regularly hear Shrimadbhagavatam, let us regularly read the Shrimadbhagavad Gita and Shrimadbhagavatam and find perfection in this lifetime.
Yeah.
Thank you very much. Do you have any questions, bros, or comments, any realizations you would like to share?
I'm laughing at your faces right now.
What is that, Dave?
I'm laughing at your faces right now. How they were smiling, how turned they were just like.
Yes, Krishna and Rohit Prabhu sir.
Said chills, please. We just got goosebumps.
Yes, we're all in the right place.
Right.
Right place, yes. There may be challenges, there may be obstacles.
Right.
But unless there are challenges and obstacles, we cannot truly enjoy the goal. If the goal is so easy to achieve, there's not much satisfaction, yes?
Right.
If you've had to struggle, work very hard to achieve a particular result, it's even more satisfying. So there may be obstacles and challenges as we live in this world in our pursuit of the ultimate perfection, but we must persevere, we must tolerate these challenges, we must tolerate these inconveniences and be steadfast and determined in our pursuit of the goal. Srila Rupa Goswami, he suggested three things. Utsahan Nishchayat Dheryat. Utsahan, enthusiasm. Nishchayat, determination. Dheryat, patience. We must perform our seva, our sadhana with enthusiasm, determination and patience, and the results will come